What's up everyone, Worldwide Benny here, and today we're going to be working a little bit more on Cyber City. You can see right there I built a little construction site, and in the meantime put some smoke in that AC unit up there to make it look like it was down. We'll probably come back to that later, but for now, jumping over to the skyscraper drop tower that I built or started in the last video. I got it arranged on the park and did a little bit of work on it off camera to get it kind of squared away and fit into Cyber City, and I knew I wanted to do some planters here surrounding it. I wanted to actually do a little greenery in Cyber City because this is the downtown Plaza sort of area, which still trying to figure out what the centerpiece is going to be, but we'll come back to that later. For now, I found these marble planters that I liked and colored them accordingly with the theme. You know, the black marble with the blue inlay on it. It looks cool, matches the path below, and get it all laid out to start, and then do some pathing. I'm still kind of trying to get the full layout of this park squared away, so just experimenting and seeing what's gonna work. Let's see what I jump into next here. Looking for a corner piece. The park has been really fun to build, and I've actually recorded a few videos ahead of this one and have some really cool stuff coming. But for the time being, just getting this plaza squared away has been my main focus. I know I was working on the Chop Shop ride, which has been really fun to work on, but just needed a break from it. Needed to work on some other pieces to get the park feeling a little more cohesive and actually get, you know, some other areas for guests to move around in for the time being. I know I can turn the guests off, but I like having them on. I like seeing people interact with the park. It just kind of helps give an idea of what actually is going to look good, what's actually going to be functional. You'll see some people walking through that exit line right there. You can't make an exit line shorter than, you know, the typical 2 units or whatever it is, which is a bummer. So I went with the aesthetic choice, not the practical choice there, and created my own exit line fencing, which nobody walks through, and I might go back and fix that later, but for now, it gets the job done, and it looks cool when they're not walking through it, but when they walk through it, it looks a little jank. I don't know, maybe Frontier will fix at one point barriers actually keeping park guests from walking through them. It's kind of a bummer that they're just prop pieces. I like that, you know, there isn't as much collision jankness in this game as there was in the last one, but there are also some drawbacks, like having people in your park just walk straight through your barriers. Some sort of invisible barrier system might be really cool, or even honestly just making it so you can make the smallest walkway path the size of a queue. It's a little kooky to me that your queue line can be, you know, 1 unit wide, but the regular park path has to be at least 2. So getting these planters dialed in, got the blue and purple plants. Don't know if there are real plants that look like that in the world. I'm sure there are, but I like the aesthetic for this park. Love the cherry blossom trees. The next video, I've already shot the footage for it and done some building, but you'll be seeing a lot more of those cherry blossom trees and Japanese maples. Throwing out a couple trash cans and some benches just to give people a place to sit. And it's already looking really cool. That scenery brush tool is clutch. It makes working on this stuff so much quicker. It can be a little jank sometimes if you're on tilted surfaces, but overall it's pretty useful. Getting this tube out, I've been wanting to do some sort of like sky tunnel system. I know that I probably won't actually make it to where people can walk through it. It'll be more of just an aesthetic choice. But I do get to that later on in the video. For now, copying over the big skyscraper building and doing some adjustments on it so that it looks a little bit different. This downtown area, I want to feel like super... whenever you walk in, you know, I want you to feel like you're in a real downtown, buildings everywhere surrounding you, neon shining down. So I put up a couple of these guys, get this one, you know, lined up, set to the side. I'm sure I'll do a lot more. I'll probably do a taller one as well. There's the big like sky view tower You know, it's technically a flat ride or whatever, but that sky view tower is really cool, but it's super, super tall. So if I'm going to do anything custom around that, it'll probably be in a later video. All right, so we get the skyscraper lined up where I want it, end up putting it at kind of the peak of this rounded pathway over here. And then getting those windows copied over. I could have made this building, in fact, I should have made this building a blueprint. I'm really bad about planning far enough ahead to make, you know, blueprints for these things so I can copy paste them really easy. I start flowing, ideas start coming to me, I start making things, and I don't plan that far ahead. And sometimes it bites me in the butt, like right here. It makes it just super, super inefficient to get this building laid out, to do the trim. You know, all this could have been done. I'm working on getting better at using blueprints. The next time I'm going to build one of these skyscraper sort of things, definitely going to build it off park as a blueprint first. That way I can copy paste it all around. And also some people have asked to get some of these blueprints in the workshops for the building I've made, and I would love to, but they're so disorganized and half of the buildings aren't really blueprintable unless I copied like a huge chunk of park, moved it, deleted stuff, and then made a blueprint. So maybe I'll get around to doing that at some point if enough people ask for it, but for the time being, I'm just kind of free-flowing with it. So getting the pillar set on the side with the neon lights for this building. This building is what I'm going to end up connecting with a sky bridge, so the color will remain the same on the LEDs for this one, but on a later one I'll actually change the colors of the LEDs to a green, which looks really, really cool once you'll see it, especially at night. You know, crossover of the different colors in that new lighting system just really, really pops. I don't actually even like totally finish these buildings because I know there may be some other adjustments I want to make to them down the line. So at this point, I'm just kind of getting a basic layout of the downtown area, so that way I can come back and polish later. This is yet again another instance where having it be a blueprint would have been a lot smarter, but I wasn't, so I just take some time. At 600 times speed, luckily, it's very manageable to watch, but doing it in real time was definitely tedious, and I did that to myself. That's what laziness and just getting in the flow and working will do sometimes, but hey, we still get a cool product, even if it takes us a little longer than expected. Get those LEDs lined up, and now let's see, what do I get into next? This is where I start working on the sky bridge. I cut out a section where I can put a doorway in. I get my tunnel colored properly, and then I point it across, select it all, adjust it, get it where it lines up centered. Boom, that's already looking cool. The shots at the end of the video are really, really awesome when you see it. Working inside of them is a little bit of a pain. Trying to get the door squared away in there, you gotta go like flatten against the wall, use the advanced move tool, and then put it in there. But we get it there, and then we move and do another. I do some LEDs on the tubing here in a minute, as you'll see. Get it moving all the way across on the tube. I use the top of it just to make it flat so I can copy it, group it, and move it to other parts of this. I do it on top there, but it doesn't actually end up on top. I end up flipping it upside down and pointing down into the tunnel as if it's lighting the walkway, and then I do it on the bottom of the walkway on the side sticking out, which looks super, super cool at night. I also know I'm going to want to light up that foliage down there, so you'll see later in the video I'm going to put one of those spotlight LED sort of things on the bottom pointing straight down. It hides pretty well up there, and it lights up that big cherry blossom tree, which looks really, really cool. So here we go. I've got the lighting set on this, and now I actually group them and turn it red so that way I can easily change the color, swap to night, and yeah, that's awesome. Exactly what I wanted it to look like. Get some lights set up. I want them to be a nice cool white light as I do there to kind of match the blue. Set them up on the paths between the cherry blossom trees. Yeah, this downtown plaza is definitely coming together. Here's where I do that little spotlight bit, lighting up the Cherry blossom tree. At daytime, you don't see it a whole lot, but at nighttime, it really, really helps it to shine. That's totally cool. Can't wait to fill this space out. Walking around in a big, you know, cyberpunk downtown plaza with some foliage because the rich corporations can afford to have plants. It really, really makes it pop. Next, we're going over to the green building. I duplicate and copy that sky bridge and turn the color green. I know I'm going to want to do a park section over in this area, so I kind of just lay out some generic paths. It's actually going to be the next video is that section of the park, which super excited to show you. I called it Tranquil Gardens, and it's like a garden teacup wheel area with some cool pathways that wind up a hill. Really, really excited about that. But for now, we're just getting this sky bridge dialed in, getting it centered, get some doorways set up, scooch the windows around a little bit to keep it looking natural. Working in those tubes can be tricky, doesn't let you always select what's inside of them. It thinks you're trying to actually grab the pipeway, but yeah. Next, we're going to copy over these planters and line the other side. They're honestly pretty easy to work with. They're pretty easy to line up. And if you group them and have the plants built onto them, it just makes this process way, way, way quicker. Still a little tedious at times, but not too bad. 600 times speed, what you guys are watching at, it is a breeze. So get this corner set up here, and here we go. We line up the plants. Bada boom. Yep. Do a little moving around to keep it dialed. It's really easy to slip up and let them like clip through the curbs on the path, which isn't the end of the world, but I'm trying to keep things cleaned and semi-polished. Go down this pathway all the way towards the entrance. Surprisingly, even with how big and square they or rectangular they are, they look smooth whenever you curve them, especially from a distance. Even up close when you're walking around the park, it's not too bad. Copy over this, struggling to copy over this next part, but copy it over, toss another end piece on there, grab a small plant. I don't remember the colors exactly, so I kind of just wing it to get it as close as I can. And there it is. We roll with it. And yeah, we're getting close to the end of this video. Get some more grass laid out. Gonna need grass for this next section. I think one of the last things I do here is turn these lights green. Again, super, super tedious. I also turn the pillars green here in a second. This will be a different building owned by a different corporation, so of course it needs a different color. I think later on I'm going to, get that entrance foyer deal that sticks out to be filled out. I was moving pretty quick on this video, didn't have a lot of time to play, so just getting rough outline stuff going. Grab that scenery brush, get some rocks laid out, and then get some taiga plants laid out as well. Really saves a lot of time. And lastly, we put these lights in there, and boom, it's looking really, really cool. Go tonight, walk around, yeah. Get a couple more buildings in there. That view that you just saw, I mean, it's going to be like the skyline image from Akira. That's kind of my inspiration for it, is those tall neon buildings that shoot up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the build today. It really wasn't too hard to get all this put together. Whenever you get those big buildings copied over, it fills up a lot of space really quick. Just checking out some different viewpoints from the cafeteria area I have. Still working on what my centerpiece for this plaza is going to be. A couple people have dropped comments on my Reddit posts mentioning things they think they should be. But yeah, that's about it for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Just kind of moving the camera around like crazy now as I close up for the day, and I will see you in the next one.